Jaya Jetli called him a mercenary, but several others here believe that his time has come and he's got his eye on 2024, and that's how we should see what's happened today. His sudden walking out and talking about taking a temporary break from public life. Your take?
Well, Barkha, you remember in one of the programs I said that I would like to keep my comments reserved. I would not like to comment on that. But and in the same program, I had also said that he has never played with the losing team. He has always batted with a winning team. And while his full credits to him for two things. Number one, picking up the winning team. Number one, and number two, whatever strategies that he applies, taking that winning margin a bit further. But till this point of time in the last 7 years, we have seen him only picking up once the story where the logical end was not very positive was Congress in Uttar Pradesh. And we know what happened over there. So if you will ask me, what do you get out of his resignation from that post of Amrinder Singh? I would say Amrinder Singh is losing, or Congress is losing Punjab. I mean, that's the only reason that I don't see at this point of time any reason. I mean, and this I am saying not because he has resigned, because our tracker had been showing for quite some time that Punjab Congress is in a problematic state. Akalis are unable to fill up that vacuum. Aam Aadmi Party surprisingly is getting very, very aggressive, and they are not repeating the mistakes which they had done 5 years back by hobnobbing with the Khalistani elements over there, which kind of polarize Hindus into the kitty of Congress. So they are not trying to repeat that mistake again. So having said that, and with so much of Sidhu Amrinder infighting that is going on, Congress is really on a sticky wicket. And it's only a confirmation of what our tracker has been showing, or the results that are going to be.
Before I get Tehseen to react to that, I raised the question about why Prashant Kishore gets more headlines than Rahul Gandhi, and I was told it's because the media is compromised, and the media may well be scared, terrified, compromised. But Prashant Kishore is not seen as a BJP guy right now. So if the allegation is that the media is completely compromised in favor of the ruling party, then PK is on the other side, Yashwant. Why does his every move get that kind of attention? It is because he's positioned himself as that man who will come and save a flagging campaign.
I think media, particularly Indian media, we love oversimplification of everything. We love to have a one-point answer. Modi kaise jeeta, Prashant Kishore ne jitaya. Nitish kaise jeete, Lalu kaise jeete, Prashant. We try to have that oversimplification. While no, I'm not taking the credit away from the man, what he has done. But what I'm simply trying to say that if Congress manages to win Uttarakhand, Barkha, it will be largely because Congress is the main opposition party with a brilliant leader called Harish Rawat over there who is ready to fill the vacuum. So it doesn't matter if Harish Rawat picks up a phone and talks to Barkha or talks to Yashwant Deshmukh or talks to Prashant Kishore. If Congress is going to win Uttarakhand, it will be because of Congress. If Congress is going to lose in Punjab, it will be because of Congress. What I'm simply trying to say, Congress is the second largest party in this country at this point of time. I agree with Tejasvi Yadav's one-liner, and I am extremely impressed with that young lad. I tell you why. Because unlike many of the editors and many of the opinion makers in this country, I have seen Tejasvi Yadav saying one line which I was not expecting, that without Congress there can be no opposition story. And that's the bottom line. I don't see without Congress any alternative emerging to the BJP. And regardless of how much weird it may sound at this point of time, I also genuinely feel without Rahul Gandhi also, there probably cannot be a Congress comeback story at this point of time. So I am very
interesting.
As a data reader, I am very clear how the things stand over there.
Let me get everyone to react to this, and I'll start with Tehseen. The fact of the matter is that we saw something happen in the last week. We saw Mamata Banerjee come to Delhi. also in a way positioning herself as maybe the pivot around which opposition parties can organize themselves. And we saw Rahul Gandhi chairing an opposition meeting. But for all the parties that attended, there were also 10 non-BJP, non-Congress parties that stayed away. That includes, let's say, Jagan Reddy, who was unceremoniously alienated by the Congress leadership. That included leaders like Asaduddin Owaisi, who was once part of the UPA. So, while Yashwant may say that this can't happen without the Congress and Rahul Gandhi, the fact is that 10 parties did not show up. Aam Aadmi Party didn't show up, and so on. Tehseen, you're on mute. Yeah.
Couple of things. I've been waiting a long time to speak. So let me first begin by saying I absolutely agree with Tavleen ji and Jaya ji and Shruti that the ideological base is the most important base in any political movement. And without the ideological clarity, a political movement cannot go ahead. You may agree or disagree with that philosophy, but that is the core. And therefore, for me, I come to the next part of the question. In my opinion, and Yashwant will bear with me, there was no greater nationalist party that occupied the nationalist space in the Congress. The Congress was the nationalist party. And I've written about this for a couple of newspapers, national newspapers. Why did the Congress cede the nationalist space to an organization run by the RSS, in which, in my opinion, is not a nationalist organization? So the question to be asked, veterans out here, is, would Indira ji go to JNU and stand with Kanhaiya? Would Indira ji felicitate one of those JNU people? So the Congress at one point started being seen with the left, yet at the same time, it goes extremely right to fight, religiously right, to fight the battles that Modi ji wants to fight. For example, one day saying what is Rahul ji's caste, what is Rahul ji's religion, which I think the Gandhis are beyond caste and religion. And when you fight with Modi ji on caste and religion, only Modi ji is going to win.
If they're beyond caste and religion, why were we told about Rahul Gandhi's Jana Youth Red?
So exactly, which is, if I may make my point, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So the Congress is not clear whether it is left of the spectrum or it is right religiously of the spectrum. And therefore, the first point that I want to make, the Congress to be relevant must be center. It must be Nehru's Congress. And Indira ji would not go to JNU. Now to the second point. I have a lot of respect for PK. I think he's done very well for himself. But I have a question which I'm not clear about. Jaya ji could help me. Who put PK in Nitish's party? Who recommended him? And I'll leave that answer for when her chance comes. But Barka, you may answer who recommended him. I'll leave it for that. Now let me come to the last point that I want to make, and that's where I think at the end of the day, Rahul Gandhi needs to be a little more forceful and a little more dominating. If I was advising Rahul Gandhi, and I'll tell you why. The day Rahul Gandhi held this breakfast at Constitution Club, the very same day, forget those 10 parties that did not turn up. There are reasons why they cannot turn up. I cannot do business with the Akali, the AAP and Jagan because I'm doing business with Chandrababu, etc. That's politically understood. Let me come to a larger point. This very same day that I hosted breakfast, I mean, I'm talking about the Congress hosted breakfast at the Constitution Club, Mr. Pawar that very day met Amit Shah over some other issues. Now you see, Mr. Gandhi has to be little more dominating, and he has to be clear, like Tejasvi said, you're with me or you're against me. There's a large section of India that wants the Bharatiya Janata Party to go. There's a large section, and they will not waste their vote in 2024. But it has to, Mr. Gandhi has to assume that leadership because Tejasvi is right. Without the Congress, it won't happen. So he needs to assert himself. One last point. There are certain fundamental mistakes the Congress is making. For example, in BJP, when you give Shatrughan Sinha's son a ticket to fight, or you gave Sharad Yadav's daughter a ticket to fight, I fail to understand why aren't you creating your Karyakartas? It becomes a reward for anybody who comes into the party. No, you create your leaders. At least when I go back to Patna, मैं झंडा लेकर तो खड़ा रहूँगा. Kush will not stand with the झंडा.
Hang on. Reading between the lines, you think if PK were to get a top position in the Congress party, it would be therefore unfair to people inside the party. Is that what you're saying?
No, I am not saying that. I am saying PK brings some amount of expertise with himself, but I am saying there are political people also who need to be taken along. Sachin Pilot, Dipinder Hooda, there are many political experts.